Who is the real Jesus? 2,000 years ago, a man set foot on our planet who claimed to be from a place beyond space and time. His name is Jesus Christ. The historian H.G. Wells, who was not a believer, affirms Jesus' unique impact on history. He wrote, "I am an historian. I am not a believer, but I must confess as a historian that Jesus Christ is easily the most dominant figure in all history." So who is the real Jesus Christ? Nine non-Christian historians and writers mention Jesus within 150 years of his death, the same number who mention the contemporary Roman Emperor Tiberius Caesar. Plus, over 5,800 New Testament manuscripts tell us about Jesus' life and words. That's far more than any other person in ancient history. New Testament scholar John A.T. Robinson concludes that early copies of New Testament manuscripts prove it was originally written while eyewitnesses of Jesus would still have been alive. Robinson goes on to say the gospel accounts of Jesus are by far the most attested text of any ancient writing in the world. Of all the world's great men, Jesus has been considered the supreme example of moral perfection in both his character and his teaching. Martin Luther King said of Jesus, "He did not seek to overcome evil with evil. He overcame evil with good." Although crucified by hate, he responded with aggressive love. While on earth, Jesus fulfilled nearly 300 Old Testament prophecies about a promised Messiah who Isaiah said would be the mighty God and everlasting Father. Yet Isaiah also said he would be born as a child. As they saw Jesus perform countless miracles, his disciples became convinced he was the promised Messiah. And when Peter proclaimed him as the Christ or Messiah, the Son of the living God, Jesus acknowledged his statement as true. Jesus made claims that no ordinary man could make. He spoke of himself as one with God the Father. This so infuriated the religious leaders that they attempted to kill him. Later, when his follower Philip asked to see God the Father, Jesus replied, "I have been with you a long time now. Do you still not know me, Philip? Whoever has seen me has seen the Father. So why do you say, 'Show us the Father'?" Former atheist C.S. Lewis reasons that if Jesus' claims of deity are untrue, then he couldn't have been a good man or a great moral teacher. If Jesus isn't who he claimed to be, he would have been either a liar or a lunatic. Lewis explains, "I am trying here to prevent anyone from saying the really foolish thing that people often say about him. I'm ready to accept Jesus as a great moral teacher, but I don't accept his claim to be God. That is the one thing we must not say." Jesus clearly claimed to be God. So, was he lying? Was he a self-deceived lunatic? Or is he God's Son, deity in human form? Jesus made a claim that would prove all his other claims valid, if it truly happened. He told his disciples that he would rise from the dead after being arrested and put to death on the cross. As Jesus predicted, he was taken prisoner, condemned to death by Pontius Pilate, and crucified on a Roman cross. After watching him die, Jesus' disciples had gone into hiding, fearing they too would be arrested and possibly executed like Jesus. But on the third day, Mary Magdalene and other women hurried to the disciples claiming they had seen Jesus alive. Shortly afterwards, the eyewitnesses tell us that Jesus appeared alive to Peter, John, and over 500 others. The disciples were suddenly transformed. Peter Steinfels of the New York Times writes, "Shortly after Jesus was executed, his followers were suddenly galvanized from a baffled and cowering group into people whose message about a living Jesus and a coming kingdom, preached at the risk of their lives, eventually changed an empire." Something happened. But exactly what? One person who wanted to know what happened was English journalist and skeptic Frank Morrison, who began research for a book to prove that Jesus' resurrection was a myth. Morrison discovered Jesus' death was verified by both Jewish and Roman historians. Morrison then wondered if the disciples had conspired a plot to make it appear Jesus had risen. However, there are three main problems with that theory. One, the tomb was secured by a large stone and a 24-hour trained Roman guard, making it impossible to remove Jesus' body without notice. Two, a resurrection plot would have died out as soon as someone discovered Jesus' body, yet that never happened. Three, the disciples changed from being cowards into men who were willing to be martyred for proclaiming the risen Jesus. It was the dramatic transformation in the disciples' behavior that convinced Morrison the resurrection really happened. In a reversal of his skepticism, Morrison changed the title of his book to "Who Moved the Stone?", which documents the evidence that persuaded him the resurrection of Jesus Christ was a true historical event. What would a jury conclude? Simon Greenleaf, founder of the Harvard Law School, concluded that any honest jury would render a verdict that Jesus' resurrection really happened. He writes, "It would have been impossible for the disciples to persist with their conviction that Jesus had risen if they hadn't actually seen the risen Christ." So, who is the real Jesus? The Apostle John gives us his answer. "Christ, who is life, was shown to us. We saw him. We tell you and preach about the life that lasts forever. He was with the Father, and he has come down to us." It was the apostles' firm conviction in the resurrection that led the apostles to lay down their lives proclaiming Jesus Christ as both Lord and God, a message that has changed countless lives for the past 2,000 years. To learn more, go to why-jesus.com/evidence and download the free book, Who is the Real Jesus?